Welcome back. Once again, I am Catherine Gallerani from Wicked Local Carver and Carver Reporter, and on Area 58 Cable Access Media. And we are here with one of the two candidates for Board of Health. Unfortunately, Tracy Hall could not make it here tonight, but we have Barry Callis with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Why are you running for Board of Health, and what are your qualifications?
I have lived in Carver for 15 years. I've been very impressed with the amount of volunteerism in our town. I've worked in the field of public health in a paid capacity for just under 30 years. And I've been looking for a way to contribute to our town in a structured, ongoing way. And I'd like to bring my experience to our Board of Health and to the residents of Carver to benefit their overall health and well-being.
Are there any new Board of Health policies you believe might be implemented? Do you have ideas?
Yeah, you know, I am very aware of the ways in which donation bins, there's been improper disposal of household items around donation bins not intended for donation. I've been following the Board of Health's work to develop regulation for those bins. I would want to learn a little bit more about how that regulation includes improper disposal of electronics and other household waste on private property and on public property. I've observed disposal of these items in different parts of town that I don't think were intended to be put there.
And what is the role of the Board of Health?
The role of the Board of Health is to protect the health, safety, and well-being of residents of a city or town. In this particular case, one of those items is to make sure that the environment, that there's no pollutants and that the environment is protected. What you've just mentioned are concerns about protecting the environment, to make sure that items are not in the environment that shouldn't be there.
You talked briefly about your experience, 30 years in public health. Could you talk about what you have learned and what you bring to the board?
Sure. During that time, I've done many different things. I've had different roles. I've done community health assessments. I've studied the impact of certain diseases on certain populations, and I've worked to develop responses to those conditions, including advisory from impacted communities and other stakeholders who can assist in developing effective responses.
Now, are you going to be sending yourself alerts from the Board of Public Health?
I don't think so.
No. How about the measles? Is that a measles is a concern around here? It's.
You know, what's interesting is I think there's lots of dialogue right now about vaccinations, about what's recommended, and choice about vaccinations and consequences of not vaccinating. That's a decision between individuals and parents and their healthcare provider. It's not particularly in the domain of the Board of Health.
Okay. What other roles does the Board of Health perform in town?
Other role, sanitation, inspections of restaurants, pools, camps, follows up on complaints from residents about nuisance, concerns about dwellings that may not be safe.
Have you been attending Board of Health meetings to get
You
a
know,
feel for it?
I have not been able to attend Board of Health meetings. I have been an active participant in other events and activities throughout town that happen at a time that correspond a little bit differently than my schedule will allow. I've been very impressed of late with the kinds of activities and events that I've attended in town. Healing Carver, the Food Pantry Open House, the Science of Addiction that was held last night. There was actually a moderators forum to help residents learn a bit more about town meetings and the mechanics of town meeting. I've been very impressed with the way that care, talent, and interest result in volunteerism in our town. One of the things that I would like to raise with the fellow Board of Health members, if elected, is how can we be a bit more involved in some of those events? How can we bring public health data to community groups and to the community at large about what are the particular disparities and health problems in Carver, and how can these events be aligned to address those disparities or those issues?
Do you think the people of Carver would welcome that kind of education?
I think they would. I'd like to think they would. I've talked with a few folks about that idea, and they thought it would be really helpful. I am in favor of making sure that we use data to drive action. And the events that take place through town are very consistent with what I understand are the problems happening in our town.
Is there any particular area you'd want to talk about right now?
Yes. The opioid and other substance use disorder problem that individuals and families are struggling with right now. This is not an issue that is particular to Carver. Every city and town throughout our Commonwealth is impacted. I would say that most of us in this room and most of us that are viewing today know someone or know someone who's been impacted. I've been very impressed with Carver Cares. It's a coalition of individuals and young people working to both raise awareness and to link people to services for assistance. I think that's a really important activity in our town. I think that I've seen them at many, many different events. I've seen them inside and outside events. So I'd like to be able to endorse some of those events more overtly and raise awareness of those activities through the Board of Health website.
Okay. Would you like to sum up why you are running for the Board of Health and what you want to say to voters?
Yeah. I would be honored to serve our town in this capacity. With my experience and with my interest, I believe I can add value to the existing board members. I am excited about the chance to work with the other board members to respond to particular health issues that individuals in our town are facing.
Okay. Thank you, Barry Callis.
Thank you for
the
having
Board
me.
of Health. And don't forget to vote April 27th, Saturday, from 8 to 6 p.m. Thank you very much.